There's no handbook to death. But the one part was the easiest for me, was making that phone call, and Lauren took care of it.
I'll never forget, it was 2010 when I first started. I was about 5 months in the business. And I kind of felt like I knew some things, but I didn't know a lot of things. I met Roger and Teresa in September. And I did my presentation in their home. I met him through the VFW, who's a VFW member. So I had his hard card. I booked an appointment with them, and I went and saw them. And I'll never forget that they told me no.
I think right now, nobody wants to talk about death. And that is so true. And when Lauren came to the home and talked about the freedom of choice, it was a hard pill to swallow because you don't think about it. You know, Teresa and I were young, we were healthy. We both rode, we were active, we were always on the go. And so you don't really think about death at that age. You think about it down the road.
Regardless, Roger and Teresa called me 2 days after I had left their home, and Roger kind of said, hey, listen, Teresa and I talked about it, and we just decided that we want to just do the Freedom of Choice certificate. I helped them get enrolled, and I left their house. I never thought anything of it.
Teresa and I, we were on a Harley Davidson ride, coming back from the 101 down the coast. And it was on a Monday night. Got home, everything seemed normal. I go into the kitchen to get some drinks for us to sit down, and she's on the couch in the living room. I called out her name, asked what she wanted to drink, and there was no answer. As I popped my head around the corner, she's having a stroke. I called all family members, and as well, I even called Lauren.
Hey, Lauren, there's been an accident. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've never done this before. I don't even know what to do. Do they even have coverage yet? It's only been 6 weeks. And so I told Roger, I said, listen, don't call the company. I don't even know if you've been through underwriting yet. Let me call them and see, and just make sure that everything is okay.
The very next day, Lauren was at Harborview in the ICU with me.
And I remember walking into the hospital, again, being my first time ever having to deal with this. And for sure, you never think that you're going to deal with it 5 months in to the business. And I remember seeing Roger, and I gave him a big hug. And I said, you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I said, at least you have some sort of coverage. Like, if this doesn't go the way that we want it to go, you at least have coverage. You're going to be fine.
And she says she'll take care of everything. Just don't worry about that piece of the freedom of choice. Don't worry about that piece right now, you know. So I have to worry about that because Lauren had that covered for me, and she did.
I mean, the reality was, at that point in time, she probably wasn't going to live. And I remember the day that Roger called me and said, hey, we're going to take her off the ventilator. I said, I'm so sorry for your loss.
As they were taking out the tubes, and I'm just sitting there just crying my eyes out, literally just bawling, thinking, okay, you know, this is it. And so as they were pulling the tubes out, she gasped for air, and they said that's normal. And then as we're moving more tubes and unplugging stuff, all of a sudden there was another gasp for air, and all of a sudden the monitor started beeping, and she came back to life. And so for over the next, basically 15 months, she had that will to live. It wasn't her time to go yet. It really wasn't. Me and her fighting this fight together to the very end, you know, to death do us part. The morning that she died, it was the last day of my vacation. You know, she made the circle. And so that was like the circle of life for her. And that morning there was when I came down to get her in the morning to take care of her. I had to give her a shot every day called hemotrope. Well, she was bleeding. She was bleeding from the mouth and the nose and stuff. And I knew she couldn't talk anymore. So I grabbed her hand. I said, "Can you hear me, Teresa?" And she squeezed my hand. That's how we communicated. And I said, "You know, I love you." And she squeezed me. I said, "You love me, girl?" And she squeezed my hand. I said, "We had the best life ever." She about broke my fingers, you know? And so it was really, really, that's how I ended my life with her. I can remember when the family all left, I gave Lauren a call.
Hey, Teresa passed. And I said, you had 2 extra years with her that we never thought you'd have. And I said, just go down to the funeral home and use your freedom of choice certificate. I explained to him how it worked.
Sign my name. That's all I had to do. The funeral was, her cremation was covered, Teresa's was. And I got a check in the mail. Probably about a week later, less than that, the remaining balance was sent to me. Lauren called me up and told me everything's taken care of. I'm always grateful for that. In that product, I am a firm believer you have to be covered because you do not know when your time is up.
After Roger left the funeral home, he called me. He said, Lauren, that freedom of choice certificate worked exactly like you said it did. I remember feeling so great about my choice to be with American Income and AO, to do this as a career to help protect families. And to me, that was just not that I needed one, but that was one of the biggest reasons why, fast forward 11 years, I'm still here today.
And it works. And I'm a firm believer in it. Freedom of choice.